questions from the media, if you'll raise your hand and I'll go from there. Matt?
Rick, you laid out 3 things that you want your team to do every night. How many did they hit tonight?
Well, I think the one thing that's hard, to say in this situation is like William Carey did a whole bunch of different defenses. They went from a 1-3-1 to a 2-3 and to a man, and our guys wasn't prepared to be good at all 3 of those things offensively. So our guys were off balance offensively. We never got into a rhythm. So you got to give William Carey credit for that because it kept us off balance. And I don't fault our guys offensively, for not knowing where to go every single time because they keep changing defenses. And we got so many inexperienced guys. There's really nobody on the court that says, hey, they're in a 1-3-1, we should be doing this. They're in a 2-3. They kind of look into the bench, every single time. And, that'll happen with experience. Defensively, is what I'm a little concerned about is, I think, we got to be the most aggressive team out there, and I didn't think we was the most aggressive team tonight, I felt it was a situation that we were kind of on our heels a little bit. But the thing I'm most disappointed in is the 100-0 balls. Everybody calls them 50-50 balls or loose balls. I like to say they're 100-0 balls because we should get them 100% of the time. So all those balls like that, and then things around the rim as far as them getting offensive rebounding, we can't give up offensive rebounds, to a team like William Carey that's smaller and less physical than we are. So that's my biggest concern walking away from this.
You obviously haven't had a lot of guys at the crunch moments. They've had to make up plays in their career here, but Wendell Lewis going the foul line and hitting those free throws for you. When you look for some teaching moments, I'm sure that's a good one for him. Yeah, and I credited Wendell when we met as a team here real briefly after the game. I said, hey, those free throws that you went up and knocked down were huge for us. If you don't make those free throws, now the game gets a little even tighter. And now a situation where guys with that inexperience out there, they don't know how to handle that. So, I credit Wendell for making those free throws at the end. I thought they were huge.
How much did the nerves play in with the first college game for a lot of these guys, first Division I game for a lot of these guys, and some of those hustle point categories that you're talking about?
Oh, I don't know if you can be nervous about hustling. I think it's a situation where guys might be nervous about what to do offensively and things like that, but I don't think you should have any nervous feelings about playing hard. So I don't think that played a part in it. Now offensively, our guys are inexperienced, and inexperience comes out when we take bad shots. I think there's a lot of times where we haven't probed the defense enough and we take kind of ill-advised shots. And that's what happens when you have an inexperienced team. But, we do have some guys that can make some shots. Jalen can make shots. Fred Thomas can make shots. And we don't want to temper those guys' enthusiasm about basketball by doing something they're good at. But at the same point in time, they got to understand time and score, and they'll learn it.
You were able to play a little zone defense, and it's kind of early in the year being able to play man and zone. Talk about how you thought your kids reacted to that.
Well, that's just on out of bounds. It's not something we're going to do, as far as in a half-court setting all the time. But, I just feel like as far as getting ready for a scouting report, sometimes you spend so much time on out-of-bounds plays, that I felt like we had so many things that we got to get better at. I didn't want to spend all our times scouting the other teams, out-of-bounds plays at this point in time. So we went with that zone a little bit, and it's still, a progress. So a work in progress at this point in time, but, I think we'll get better at it.
Do you feel like your guys are ready for a game that counts now here in less than a week, or is it, you sit back, you sit there thinking, man, we've got so much to work on?
Yeah, in one word, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was the lineup you went with tonight, is that what you think about going with the start of the season?
Oh, I don't know. Obviously, Andre Applewhite was out right now, and that shortened our rotation as far as that. But I really don't get too concerned about, who's starting and things like that, because in this our rotation we have right now, everybody's going to play. And I told our guys, too, if you're disappointed because you're not starting, and I said, and you're playing 20 minutes a game, you're really not concerned about the team. So, who starts and things like that, it shouldn't be a concern for them, but I know they're kids and sometimes it is, but I haven't settled in on the starting lineup, and I'll never settle in on the starting lineup.
Rick, how would you classify Andre's situation? Would he be ready for a season opener?
I have no idea yet. He's going to have an MRI tomorrow, and then once they get the results back from that, then the people that's more classified to talk about it will tell me the results of it, and then we'll move from there.
they get 36 points in the paint, but they weren't exactly dumping it in the low block. So giving up too many layups for your liking tonight.
Well, it's just the penetration. I think, our biggest problem right now, and we talk about it all the time, is jumping to the ball. Like against a smaller team like that, they're going to live on the dribble drive and dribble penetration. And we did a poor job of jumping to the basketball and taking away gaps. I think we're so hugged up to our men on the weak side right now that it gives people driving lanes. And it's just like inexperience once again. Guys are so worried about their guy. I'm touching my guy. I'm close to my guy. He's not scoring while you're letting somebody else kind of like dribble, penetrate, and get to the rim. And I think, in all situations when there's penetration, when people get in the block and the shot goes up, now you're in a help side situation and the ball goes up, you're not going to rebound the basketball. So our big thing we got to do is we got to keep people out of the paint so we can become a better rebounding team.
Fred took more shots than anyone. Did you see that kind of offensive performance coming from him?
Fred likes to shoot. I really don't count shots. To me, if a guy's taking a good shot and he ends up shooting 16, or if a guy's taking a bad shot and he ends up shooting 10, the guy shot 10, that's the guy I have a problem with. So, Fred's going to be a high-volume guy because he is a guy who's a shot maker. And so you just got to make sure you can have a fine line between letting him go out and score and him making sure he's taking a good shot. So, Fred's going to have a little bit of a green light here because, sometimes we're going to have a problem scoring, and a guy that can kind of raise up and make a 22-footer, like that one shot that he made, I think from 25 feet was a terrible shot, but it went in, so it all of a sudden becomes a good shot.
I know you had said you'd be able to learn a lot once you saw your team against someone else. Anything, maybe generalities or specifics that you feel like you learned tonight before kind of going back and studying it more?
Well, I think our post guys got to be a little bit more comfortable with finishing inside. I thought early on, we drew up a couple things to get those guys opportunities right at the rim, and I just think we got to get something out of it. There was a lot of times in the game where we had a chance to finish and got fouled, and so you got a chance for 3 points right away. And now you have a chance to go to the free throw line, you miss that easy shot, and then you go to the free throw line and you miss it. So you had a chance for 3 points and you end up with 0. You just can't have that. So our post guys got to do a little bit better job of finishing at the rim. But I like the way they were posting. I like the way they were trying to demand the basketball, and they'll get better at it.
So that